am positive that we've all seen that mouse whistling on a boat. Now, this short animation was made at a time with no technologies that would have made it easier to make, which raises the question, how did they do it? I will show you how animation transformed from a neat gimmick into an industry worth billions today. Before there was truly animation, there were many things that came close. There were carvings on many substances that would display a story happening over time with motion present. There was also the magic lantern, which was invented in 1650. This was a machine where light would be shined through a stained glass panel to project an image. This would be considered as the first form of a projector, and the stained glass panels could be swapped out to show up a different picture. Animation really took form when the inventions of the phenakistoscope and the zoetrope were invented in 1832 and 1834 respectively. The phenakistoscope featured animation frames on a circular piece of paper and cardboard where the disc would be spun, and you'd view the animation frames through a slit on the cardboard and to a mirror so you could see the frames individually. The zoetrope is like if stop motion animation was taking place right in front of you. There would be a strobe light pointed at the spinning disc with many models of characters, each on different stages of a motion. The disc would be spinning, and every single time the lights turned off, the next stage of the motion would take place of the last, giving the illusion of motion. The first time when animation was truly filmed was in 1906 in J. Stuart Blackton's Humorous Phases of Funny Faces. The video shows him drawing faces on a blackboard, and the faces are going through many different expressions. This was a form of stop motion animation with a picture being taken after each change of the faces. Animation really took off when Emile Cole's Phantasmor was made in 1908. The short film was a collection of cartoonish scenarios happening one after another, with characters and objects transforming into others. Emile Cole made it by drawing sheets of paper and shining lights through them to be able to see the previous frames. After he made all the frames on paper, he would then draw the frames onto transparent sheets called cells, which would be used in many other popular animations later on. Now in 1914 there was an animation that made a huge leap in realism. It was comparable to real life in how the characters move and truly changed how animation was looked at. I present to you Winsor McKay's Gertie the Dinosaur. Hey, could have fooled me. But this animation showed off real anatomy with fluid movements. It also gave the character emotion, which gave Gertie more life than the other animations at the time. In 1928, Mickey made his first on-screen debut in Steamboat Willie. It was the first animation to feature sound that was synchronized with the character's movements. This cartoon put Disney on the map, and as they say, the rest is history. Animation continued to evolve, with many studios pumping out their own characters. Cartoons began to become more and more realistic and fluid. There weren't many big changes in animation until 1972, when two graduates from University of Utah, Ed Catmull and Fred Park, created a new technology. They scanned their hand onto a computer and made a 3D model with it. They then made an animation with the model. So that is the main history of animation. Of course, there are more movies that came out later and more companies that were created, but those are the main innovations that allowed animation to get to where it is today. With technology becoming cheaper and cheaper, it allows more and more people to be able to make their own animations. If you're curious about the finer details of anything, I encourage you to do your own research on the topic, and I left all the sources I used in the description below. So catch you later.